Well, welcome to the English broadcast of the LPL, or should I say a welcome back. It is currently a toasty 37 degrees Celsius in Shanghai, a little bit warm even in the evening. So the players are feeling it, we're feeling it as well. It's a little bit warm in the venue, but glad to have you back for our second game now between Suning and Invictus Gaming.
Yeah, it's just kind of echoing what the analyst has said. I feel like a huge issue between game number one was simply just a comp issue. So I'd like to see Suning go back to the drawing board. Again, I don't blame them for reaching towards a traditional ADC. They probably suspected that Invictus Gaming would also meet them head-to-head for a traditional ADC because they hadn't shown something like the Astro yet in this summer split of LPL.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. I mean, Clement answered my question, which is what else does he have left in the tank? And neither of those two options that he mentioned, including the Taric, I mean, they're okay, but it's not carry picks off from Fen. And that was one of the key things, is the fact they have multiple threats on that team. One of them is Fen on that Aurelia / Kassadin, but if you're taking that away to be a support and then you're shifting that on Hacker, then that changed up the DNA of the team entirely. So it's going to start in this draft for us. You're 100% correct. Let's see what Suning do with it.
I'm not one for pulling punches. Fen must play more than two champions. It is too easy to ban him out, and it is too easy to exploit him. If Suning want to be more than just a mediocre average team, they need to start in the mid lane champion pool.
Invictus Gaming going to ban away the Taric, the Swain, and the Vladimir coming in here. It's going to be opposed by Suning, removing the Camille, the Zoe, and the Lulu. And once again, we're going to have a first pick of the Nocturne for Invictus.
So priority blue side from both teams. Formerly, it was Suning. We're starting to see, again, this bleeding over. I feel like it really started in the LCK, and I'm going to echo the same sentiment. I feel like it's not quite the same devastation level or success rate that we've seen in the LCK in the LPL. But with a team like Invictus Gaming, it really should be. We saw their stats earlier on the A block for the analyst disc. He was talking about the CSD of Rookie and Jackie Love, the jungle control percent rate for Ning, the highest in the LPL. So they should be able to give him all of the space he needs for this Nocturne to find level 6 and then execute on the Paranoia.
Now, as we see these teams just taking their time with the picks right here, thinking what they want to get locked in, we're going to take a quick look at the other game that's happening right now, and it is your boy Yagao popping off right now in the bottom lane here.
Making that minty fresh toothpaste. So that's what Yagao means, if you didn't know.
Absolutely it does. It's a massive bot lane fight here. It goes 3 for 3, but this is the third and final game between LGD and Jingdong Gaming. LGD currently leading this one, and then also winning the fight as well. But then, again, Yagao, he comes up, he snipes some people on his signature pick, Zoe.
See ya, Amy. Looks like we're still going.
Where's the final? Oh, okay, that's the final one. Oh, no, it keeps going. No, it keeps going. Yagao is still looking for more. So, yeah, if you want to catch that one, that's happening on Doyu and Panda right now. So, multi-stream that one. If you want to listen to the English casters, you're more than welcome to stay with us. But that one is going to still continue while the rest of the game happens. Anyway, back to Champion Select. So, Invictus Gaming, Mundo's going to be picked up here, followed by the Shen. That's going to do it for the first phase for Invictus Gaming. And Suning will respond with the Braum and the Aatrox.
So giving Xiao Al a carry-oriented champion, he's found a lot more success. Now, we have seen Aatrox come out in the mid lane, particularly from Doinby, so I'm not going to throw that entirely away, but I do expect that it will go in Xiao Al's hands. And you know what we haven't talked about yet?
What's up, Rusk?
It's Game 2. Invictus Gaming could be looking for a 2-0. Do my eyes deceive me? That's still Duke.
That's true. Yeah, there's no... The Shy didn't come in. And that's the big thing. He was announced on Weibo coming in.
He's in the practice room.
We saw him in the Luck Live. I've seen him. He exists in the venue. But yeah, he's not being something for the second game, and that's what Clement was saying on the analyst desk, is maybe they don't need to. If the Duke team doesn't lose, then why even burn out one of your star players? Just keep it going. You can pick up this win for free. Let's go back to the bans right here. It's going to be a Draven ban against Jackulov, a throwback to what he was picking up the other day with the Pike. So no combo, no bounty bottom lane coming in for them, and the Talia will be a ban against Ning. Well, on the opposite side, removal of the Tam Kench and all the playmaking ability from you.
I mean, it's actually a ban against Rookie, because Ning's already locked in his Nocturne. So the fact that they are that terrified of a mid-lane Talia, I'm curious what type of champion they want, and usually it would be one that would struggle if he got shoved in, like a Kassadin.
And it's possible. I mean, where's Aurelia right now, Frost? Not being banned, hasn't been picked.
Is Fen brave enough?
Maybe the Aatrox is going mid. Maybe we're going to see this once again coming out of mid lane. A page out of Doinby's book. But
and this is what I'm going to flag. This is why I was very curious. Talia was banned. If it was a flex ban against both mid and jungle, I would agree with it. But only a ban against the mid laner because Nocturne has been locked in as first priority, and you leave Lucian up? To me, that's unacceptable from Suning's ban phase. There's a reason why this champion has one of the highest ban rates in the LPL, and Jackie Love should never get his hands on it.
And Jackie Love does prefer the AD carry meta to come in. He's very similar to Uzi in that respect. He's going to try and make it work. We saw the Yasuo from him last game. It wasn't terrible. He also gave him the opportunity to be the initiator on more than one occasion. But again, you give him Lucian, he will do some damage to your team. Invictus Gaming looking for now their final pick to round this one out, Frost.
And it really should be the Alistar. I'd be surprised if it's Galio. Simply because the Tom Kench was taken away, as well as the Rakan. And Sid, I believe it's going to be the Shin. So still a lot of kill pressure there. I'm just blind. I saw Mundo. Now I'm making all the mistakes.
It's all good, dude. I mean, again, the Irelia coming out here from Invictus Gaming and wasn't prioritized by Suning.
The main point that I wanted to be is that with the Lucian, they need a kill threat pressure there. So Shin, like the Alistar, is still going to provide that. You can see he's got the Ignite Summoner spell slotted up and ready to go. And this is exactly what IG want. They want Lane Kingdom, creating space for Ning so he can level up the power level on this Nocturne, and then dogpile onto his team.
Final pick will be that Alistar to round out this composition, and now the Braum will be, of course, locked into the middle lane. So moving away from the carry role is Fen, and actually just trying to do more of a neutralizing job against Rookie instead of going toe-to-toe with him. I mean, often Rookie is the benchmark, as he's just being chatted to by his coach right here, for many of the mid laners to put themselves up against, because Rookie, he's good at mid lane.
That's one way to put it. It's a good gold funnel strat coming out of Suning, however, so the Braum Graves, which makes sense, especially when you see a Nocturne priority pick. I feel like this is kind of the 2v2 that can really punish this, is that you're going to constantly be blitzing in there, trying to use that power. Now, the coach obviously talking to Rookie, because it's on Rookie to protect Ning, to make sure that they don't get the free roam, which they're probably going to get anyway, but at least try to minimize the damage and get him into a position where he feels powerful.
That's going to be the goal. But I'm looking towards this early game again from Suning, right? And it's like, okay, where is the advances going to come out? And not only where, but will it be enough to close out against a team like Invictus Gaming? Because it seems like, to me, I see this Kai'Sa and I see this Graves, and even a bit of the Aatrox to some extent, as we can see there. A lot is going to be on their shoulders. It's not going to be the Fen show anymore.
And that's really where they should take the responsibility away. When Fin's on the Irelia, he looks great. But ultimately, there's still two other carries on this team in Hacker and more importantly in Xiaoel. Now with the Aatrox, very binary champion. So funnel all of that gold that you want into the Graves. Look for an initial delayed invade, especially because you have such a powerful level 1 with the Braum. Split the map and get the top side of your map rolling. Try to punish the weak link that has been Duke for Invictus Gaming.
Try and get up into the top lane. But then the counter argument is like, is that going to be enough? Xiaoel, he gets huge in the top lane. Your jungle has a path into the top side of the map. But even with a weak Duke, even with a weak Mundo, you've got Rookie popping up. You gave Jackie Love Lucian. Like, these are two massive pain points for you in the rest of the game. And the Nocturne's going to be flying at your backline. So, yes, totally agree with you, Frosk. But it's still, they need more. So what do they have for us as we get to take a look at the Rift from the Deer's angle? I'm going to hand it over to the audience to get us into this one. Now, as we just have the lines of scrimmage, we're once again going to check into the game that is happening
in Hangzhou.
In Hangzhou. Sorry, I got confused because we started looking at the players. Hello. Very intense on this game right now. It's been a grueling day for these guys. Not only is it hot as balls in the venue right now, but yeah, it's been a lot of pauses for you. But Yagao, again, popping off in these team fights, getting multiple kills this time around the mid lane. This one will transition into a Baron on top of that as well. So JD really handing it home to LGD. And that, I think, is what people expected from this series, is that JD, a team who's taken wins, single wins, not single wins, not entire series wins off teams like Invictus Gaming, that they would be able to upset a team like LGD or take a series against LGD.
It's always been a consistency issue with LGD. Now, of course, JD took that team fight and then transitioned it into a Baron, so perhaps looking at closing the series 2-1. But back into this series as we take a look at the keystones. Is anything standing out to me? No. Everything looks pretty standard.
Yeah, that's the trail off of a color caster who's like, let me just make sure real quick. Yeah, we're good. Okay, everything's standard. Now, back into this bottom lane, we've got Yoon and Fury taking on Battleline and Jackie Love. eyes all going to be drawn to this Jackie Love Lucian, of course. And we pan towards this mid lane. It's going to be Fen doing his best against a rookie Aurelia. And she's going to have the priority in the mid lane, hopefully allow Ning into the enemy jungle. But for now, actually Ning is being challenged by Hacker in the upper river over this crab control. So there is at least a bit of threat. Balan and Jacklove in the bottom lane, just threatening level 2. But well played to Fury and Yoon, just backing it up, not getting punished. As I say that, Jacklove will get a huge punish off of Fury, and Yoon disengages for him.
And this is exactly how this lane should play out. There's not a lot of power that swings back towards the Kai'Sa and the Alistar until closer towards level 3, level 4 when they have access to their combo, but even more so still only really with their jungle presence, which as a Braum and Graves, you know, eventually if they make their way down there, but it's not really the ganking priority. It's more so about the invading the jungle, securing a lot of farm priority.
This time, though, Suning will be able to move to the bottom side of the map. The crab has been taken on top side by Ning. That's going to be traded here by Hacker, and of course Fen assisting him. So at some point I do expect Hacker to move into this mid lane so we can get maximum usage out of our Relic Shield. But for now he's going to go back to his jungle and going to have Fen on low CS facing down Rookie.
Well, he took the fairly standard pathing, grabbed his red side, looked at the Scuttle Crab, although Nocturne made eye contact and slapped it away from him, moved across mid lane and then got the second Scuttle. So both Scuttles have been taken. The random spawn will be coming up shortly, and that's kind of like the big moment for Hacker to make use of this bomb. Make sure that he's continuously getting that so we can start slingshotting experience and gold advantages over Ning and find these opportunities to put the Nocturne down and deny any sort of snowball.
Yeah, really get up in his grill, get up in his face and try and stop him from making a really impactful level 6 gank on that Paranoia. Ning is actually making his way into the top lane, but has been watered out. He needs to go immediately. He wants to cause some damage to Xiao Ao, but judging from his positioning and knowing that Xiao Ao starts moving backwards, Ning is well aware of this fact. Yoon actually messing up the combo there. It's going to be punished by Bao Lan, and he comes in with a great Spirit's Refuge, blocking a lot of that damage coming in from Fury. So Jackalov, again, with a nice 2v2 punish.
I mean, frankly, the AD carries are really the defining feature in terms of this matchup. Lucian's going to have a lot more firepower behind him just because of how his kit works, his ability to maximize the damage output with double tap. Although Baoan, come on. But Shin into Alistar is a fun matchup. I play both these champions a lot, and you can see Baoan, he basically waits for Yoon to go in, and he just makes sure that Alistar doesn't get to just freely walk out of it. So if he sees someone step up, if he can grab hold of Fury, he'll look for the taunt, but otherwise he'll just save it for when Yoon goes in with the QW combo and just try to smack him in the face every single time. You know, you are not walking out of this for free.
And right now he's getting so much harassed down, like planning the shields ahead of time, knows when it's coming up, and really just mitigating so much of the damage coming out from Fury. So well played to this bottom lane so far of Invictus Gaming. Now it hasn't culminated in a huge CS advantage, but I do expect in the future this priority to turn into something for them. Now moving to the top lane, we have Duke facing down Xiao Ao. Now what we said in the Champions League Frost was, can Xiao Ao and Hacker maybe put down Duke? Can this be a winning lane they can snowball into the rest of the team? So far, equal farm, and Mundo was actually ahead in farm over this Aatrox. So currently the answer is no.
I just want to change the equation a little bit, because I do agree that there's the opportunity that maybe you try to target out Duke, but for me, it's still more so about putting down Ning. And you can see that right there. They're constantly invading him. They're grabbing hold of this deep vision. They want to keep Hacker wants to keep track of him so they can really maximize the Braum Graves combo. Because again, it's about denial.
That's the goal so far. But that wasn't Aatrox grouping up with his jungler. That was him just moving in between waves while it was pushed up, while he had a bit of time to spare. Ning will still manage to get topside Crab, however, so he is doing very well for himself as he actually looks for a small invade here. Probably most likely going to be just wards coming down, getting vision over the next red buff that's spawning from Hacker.
And the issue is the buy between Hacker and Ning. So now you can see that Graves has made his first initial back. He's now got the hammer as well as his jungle item in his back pocket and a control ward. So this is at the point in the map where Hacker is going to feel a lot more confident just running in and looking more for kill pressure in plays.
Fen actually setting up the wave like a good mid lane support for Hacker, who's coming in here. Will benefit from all those juicy relic stacks. Meanwhile, on the bottom lane, nice double light slinger coming in on the piercing light. Jackalov getting lots of damage down to Fury and Yoon. Both of these guys below 50% now.
There's multiple pings that are happening actually on the bottom side of the map. I think they're trying to secure Ning's jungle because Rookie's bow-guarding effectively the red buff there, and it's going to be really dangerous if they try to force this. Although, with Duke using TP, some of that danger is lifted because it at least means that the top laner can't follow where Xiao Ao could. And maybe that's the difference here, because Shin and Lucian are so far forward, they could rotate.
There's absolutely a possibility. I mean, there's still Rookie with the teleport to come down there. We just had the teleport out from Fury, it looked like, and Xiao just burned his as well. So now neither top laner can go down. So it seems like Suning are almost opting out of making pressure moves in this game, Frost.
Invictus Gaming had a read on that. I don't know if I entirely agree with the fact that they didn't want to contest it at all. I think it was back timings, especially because Kai'Sa used the TP coming back into the lane just as the red buff was being taken. So I'm going to give Suning the benefit of the doubt that they planned for it, they synced. Yes, Shin and Lucian have the push forward into the lane, but because I TP back, I'm matched the back, and Invictus Gaming, we're just playing it cautious. You know, let's not throw the early game over trying to contest a red buff.
Yeah. And that was a declaration of intent, what we just saw there from those multiple TPs. So really, now we have to look at this guy, Ning, who's just dinged at level 6. He has the Paranoia now. Where is he going to put it? Is he going to try and put down the mid lane? Is he going to pressure towards this bottom lane now that has just hit a mini power spike in the form of the Bilgewater Cutlass? Well, right now he's packing through the jungle. He's actually going to be meeting up with Rookie. And we'll see if they can collapse down to Fen, who is by himself.
Alone.
Vanguard's Edge
Hello?
is going to be the follow-up right here by Rookie. Dustbringer as well in from Ning. They get the slowdown. There it is. The combo is good
Paranoia.
for Rookie. He's going to get blinded. But again, Paranoia. There it is. Right onto the mid laner. Gets the follow-up. Can Ning go down? However, Haka with a collateral damage finds one. Moving on to the second. Xiao from the top lane. They're going to continue the dive. Haka with the tower aggro, but he's opened up too much distance. Bottom lane chimes in as well. Flash of the wall. Baolan. Ballsy play, but where's the follow-up? Duke in from the top side. Jack it up coming in from the front. And you now under attack is the level 5 Alistair. The flash forwards out from Duke is big. That gets the final finish off with the Masochism. With Fury jumping backwards. Nice killer instinct to get him out of dodge on that one. But that is going to be a trade back and forth.
Great response time from both teams, but particularly Invictus Gaming as they lead now 2-1. Fin, what the hell were you doing there? Just complete disconnect from Hacker. Maybe looking to place vision, but he went very deep inside that jungle when he had the initial vision there. Look, he wants to place the ward. You've already got a control ward on the entrance bush. You know that Nocturne's going to be level 6. There was no way he was getting out of there. Now, that said, his team did good to cover their bases. You can see Aatrox walking down the top side of the river, and they do return these kills. But Hacker was pushing mid. He is everything. You are literally only Braum.
I mean, I'm going to call that one a cat play, simply, where you run towards the enemy and just you have to have the assumption that the team's behind them.
I mean, it kind of feels like one of those scenarios again where the mid laners or the marksmen aren't quite used to the new position they're playing, but hold on.
Following play into the bottom lane, Baolan already low, but he's going to say, my life for Jackie Love, what can you do? Because here comes Rookie in from the mid lane, doesn't have Vanguard's Edge and misses the flawless duet. So I think that Invictus Gaming probably going to cut their losses and back away.
Kills happening all across the map is Suning trying very hard to be proactive now. I think they're just going to push this one. Like, this is so weird. Coming into a replay and just randomly seeing them look for a dive bottom and Hacker isn't there, it's a little bit of a head tilt. Because the whole gold funnel strat, especially when he has, you know, a significant experience lead and gold lead over his opponent, level 9 to level 7, if you look between the junglers, why are Suning ever making plays without him being involved in it? That could have gone all sorts of wrongs. Like, luckily for them, Invictus Gaming messed up on a micro level, but if they hadn't...
Fully with you. It's a head scratcher, and I don't have a good answer for you, unfortunately. There was a potential to jump in there in the mid lane, but Fen misses the Winter's Bite, or should I say duked out there by Rookie with the Challenger dodge by walking in a straight line. Will catch the rest of his minion wave. Now, they will move up river just to see what they can get, but currently this Graze is 126 farm, so he is in good shape for himself. But it really depends on how do they use essentially this cannon that they've built up, right? They need to drag it into the right position, get it into the right plays, and you're right, in that last fight, it wasn't even there.
Just very curious, but I do like the fact that they were at least trying to gank the Shin lane, especially because Duke's TP was down, so you want to gank the other thing that can make cross-map plays with the Stan United. So from that aspect, I agree. Just not really fully on board with the execution, but hey, worked out.
Graves stepping forwards, found by the Paranoia. Follow up, doesn't get the fear dab. Here comes Baolan from the bottom lane. The triple man collapse onto Haka, and he is dead from the Vanguard's Edge. Fen doing the best to avenge his ally. One more auto attack, but out of tower range. Rookie, can he get away? Gets healing off of the minion, follows through once again. Needs one more auto attack. Flawless duet almost saves the day, but Fen eventually finishes him off.
Just full on Mario Kart, just swerving everywhere. There's bananas, there's red shells. Rookie's like, I just gotta dodge the Q. Meanwhile, he's literally within slapping distance, and Braum's like, come on. It's like when people are freaking out about a Mumu chasing them, and it's just the tears that kill them. Mumu doesn't even have to throw the Q.
Full despair. Alright, back into this mid lane. Suning picking up that kill onto Rookie, are going to transition into the mid lane tower. Hacker was the one to go down, but he's back from base with the 3-man collapse on mid. They will find themselves the first tower of the game, and it will be the outer mid lane tower, arguably the most important tower of the game.
And huge credit to Fury and Yoon. I think over the entire series, they've been the most consistent point of SNG. I'm not going to blame them necessarily fully for that bot lane dive. You know, maybe it was Hacker that was in the wrong position. They set up the creep wave, had the superior back, and wanted to pull the trigger. But that's multiple times that they've made, you know, early rotations onto the mid lane to find some sort of counter play or reactionary play where they shift tempo back in Suning's favor.
And again, we have a small advantage in the early game, a recurring theme from Suning Gaming's games. Even the ones that they've lost, their early games are solid. It's that initial punch that comes in for them, which is so strong. Invictus Gaming, though, how will they come back? Because we've seen it before, and it will be unlikely if we don't see it again.
It's the fact that they have so much dive threat. Now, this time around on Suning Gaming's comp, they still have a lot of the power into the Kai'Sa as well as the Graves, but more importantly, they have the ability to disengage now. It seems small, but you have a Braum as well as an Alistar, which were kind of the key that they were missing in game number 1. So, again, game number 1, I feel like it just came to a comp issue. Yeah. You know, they could never disengage from, as Clement likes to call it, the meat grinder. They suffered their fate. This time around, they do have some answers, as long as Fin and Yoon play it correctly, and they've got big carries to support in the Graves and the Kai'Sa.
Yeah, they have some tools available for them, and it's just a matter of how they use them for us.
Yeah, but on the other side, then you're still looking at Shen Nocturne as well as Aurelia. So the tools are there, but I always love when it comes down to execution of composition versus they just got nothing to answer it. So already liking game 2 much better. Yeah,
unfortunately this is a bulldozer that is coming towards Suning Gaming, and I don't know if a wrench is going to cut it, but we'll see.
The Miley Cyrus comp, if you will.
Coming in like a wrecking ball. You know that's coming out later in the game. That's going to be finished off there by Ning, so he'll be able to pick up this Herald. Nice little contest there by Hacker using the Blast Cone at no real risk to himself. Just quick drawing over the wall.
It's a question of where he's going to use it. 9 times out of 10 we do see it used in the mid lane, although I do think there's an opportunity. Like, it's interesting because it's a gold funnel strat, so you're going to have to deal with Braum and Graves as well. I'd actually like to see them use it in the bot lane just to free up Baolan and Jackie Love.
Actually bring them into the fray, bring them into some of these skirmishes.
Yeah, because this is a really long lane phase. I mean, majority of the time we see this ending, you know, 12, 13 minutes. We're already 14, closing in on 15.
It's funny that we're saying this is the long laning phase. Like, this in a previous meta would be called just an average laning phase, you know? Like 19 to 23 minutes, that would be like, that's a long laning phase. But for sure, yeah, it's been a little bit of a slow one, and it does go back to what you were saying before for us, that Suning don't really want to, neither do Invictus Gaming, burn this entire game just on an early game play.
And Invictus Gaming are also very fine to sit in a prolonged laning phase. Again, they are the lane kingdom team, and you can see it in their CS differences pretty much across the board. Just block out the jungle. It's just how these things go, as well as the mid lane. But bottom lane and top lane, feeling pretty good. I mean, we talk about all the time how Aatrox is a very binary champion. He only does one thing, and if he doesn't get the snowball, if he's not ahead of the clock, it makes it that much harder for him to execute. So,
also keep in mind, this is like the Mundo dream right here. Or should I say like the Rammus dream, but like Mundo's just as happy because he only needs to itemize armor. He's good, man. Like, he just needs to armor stack all day. And it's like, this is so easy. I just go to the armor tab and shop and just close my eyes and click on everything.
It's also the difference about how they're going to play out the map. Again, because they have an Aatrox, his huge issue, because I feel like Jax and Aatrox are similar champions of what they want to do, but Jax has a bit more teamfight relevance. Yeah. Whereas Aatrox is all about the side lane. So again, Suning, I don't know if I'm fully on board with kind of the cohesion of their comp. Yeah. Understand it, but it's more so about the skirmish as opposed to the big 5v5. Whereas again, if you look at IG's composition, their ability to counteract any sort of side lane play that you want to make because they have two big global or semi-global ultimates in the Paranoia and the Stand United, as well as their ability to 5v5 and just dive backlines, is pretty absurd.
I'm a little bit wrong. Before I get hit by the Reddit detectives, yeah, of course Kai'Sa will be dealing some AP damage in there as well, but she needs to get to him first. And it's still going to be a ball of health running towards her, as well as an Aurelia, as well as Illusion, as well as everything else that you have on some Invictus Gaming comp. So, excited to see how these team fights unfold, but for now, we're just in the laning phase. We're farming up, we're hitting item sites. We've got the Triforce now completed in the mid lane. We're in the top lane. It's going to be the combo once again. Submarining on to the top lane. Bloodwell's going to split up this fight, but Duke, he's healing while the tower's hitting him, and Shower will go down for the count.
And just too late a response from Hacker and Finfin. You can see they started to look top lane, they're like, uh-oh. And IG, it's a prolonged lane phase. They've been set up. It's not going to be bottom lane. It's not going to be mid lane. It's going to be a Rift Herald used on an inner tower. Man.
with Cannon Wave as well. With the transition, we've got Fen, and Hacker moving to the top wave, but this is going to be a big push coming out for them. And actually, Fen is leading the charge on this one, 2 versus 3. He gets the teleport as well, but there's so much damage onto Ning. He flashes away. Fen backs out of this one, and actually Suning are winning this fight. Hacker jumps away with the collateral damage, but now Fen's dead as Rocky comes in from the mid lane. Hacker in the 1 versus 3. Good luck surviving this one, as Yoon also turns up to the top lane. This is very disconnected from Suning, and Shelly, she's about to have another bash on this next tower.
And the biggest problem is the fact that Fury doesn't have access to his TP, and he's still farming bottom, whereas Jackie Love had the TP. So it looked good for Suning for about 10 seconds.
Huge punish coming through
terrible.
As Rookie looks for the floors to it. Once again, finds the reset, jumps on towards Yoon, and Xiao Ao, he is reading from the wrong page. He's not in with him, but Yoon disengages. Tower survives. It's messy, but the job got done.
And very quickly, before we compliment Invictus Gaming, slight nitpick. And the only reason I'm doing this is, again, this is the 3 kingdoms, RNG, EDG, Invictus Gaming. You cannot afford to make these types of small mistakes. Just hit the tower. You could have had in-hit tower down at like 16 minutes in the game. Taking another look back at the replay, it was really all about the TPs. Look at Kai'Sa. She doesn't have the TP available. Jackie Love does, and Invictus Gaming decide, okay, we've caught them out of position. Yes, maybe it took them longer to die than we would have expected. Hacker doing his best to try to pick up some kills, but the Rift Herald was down, the creep wave was behind them, and suddenly 4 members, possibly 5 of IG, were all up in the top lane. That tower should be down.
Yeah, 100%, man. Like, I wanted to see the old Roman strategy. Bring up the turtle. You've got the battering ram. Let's just go in there. But Hacker ultimately made a good play with Suning. I mean, like, at the same time, while it was potentially a mistake, at the same time, it was well played by Hacker and Fen to read the situation and say, we actually can get a kill here. We can stall them out. We cannot lose an inhib. And that's what happened at the end. But here comes the paranoia. Wrong place to recall, my friends. Xiao Ao underneath this tower will be taken down.
And Xiao Ao is just... he's got the short end of the stick, repeated ganks. Duke is running away with this, and there's been virtually no response from Suning. They haven't even traded the bottom tower.
Meanwhile, in this bottom lane, yeah, Battleland stopping this from happening.
That's
again, the stun comes out, and we've got 2 members on this inhibitor. We've got the recalling now coming out from Fury, but he's being stopped by Jackie Love. Battleland healing up. The inhibit's already dead. Maybe they can take more. These recalls aren't coming through. Death timer, another 10 seconds on Xiao Ao.
Suning, they have a creep wave in your base.
The game is being finished. You're on Dragon right now. Finally, Invictus Gaming shows some mercy, but they may have actually been able to jump onto yet another tower. They play it safe, they back away.
It's really only the timer from Xiao Ao that Invictus Gaming decided to pull out. They also had Vision of the Dragon. Interesting. Huh.
Yeah, this is a lot to unpack that happened in the last, like, 10 seconds.
I'm honestly baffled. We don't get a lot of... This is false. We do get a lot of yakety sacks in the LPL, but for the majority, we've been pretty good. It's been a very refreshing level of play, especially for our mid-tier teams. You know, you've got teams like Team WE who are starting to come back online. OMG, kind of the big surprise. Even FPX, you know, LWX having these surges. But to watch IG and Suning just... I mean, frankly, shit the bed repeatedly in terms of their macro calls around the map and just lose huge at pre-20 minutes. We do not expect this of Suning Gaming. They are considered one of our up-and-coming teams in the LPL, soon to be a premier team because they have the talent. It's just now a question of where their ceiling is. And
it was a flub. That's what it was. You're absolutely right. In the LPL, we see a lot of controlled chaos. But that one was, frankly, straight up just a mistake right there. But what can they do to bounce back from this? Well, in the bottom lane, they managed to take a tower. Jukas is going to respond, though, with a tower of his own, and Ning is backing him up. Xiao Ao, if he jumps in on this one, he will be collapsed upon.
They've also got the Stand United again. This has been the combo repeatedly, and Xiao Ao has been the repeated target. So finally, his spidey sense is kicking in. He knows that the tower is very low. He's like, I'm probably about to be ulted right now. It's going to be Baolan and Ning on my face. It's not even worth it.
Yeah, absolutely not. But let's bring this one back to reality, because top lane inhib is down right now, which means that someone with good wave play has to go up there and receive the waves. It's nice that they are getting waves, but they are locked down. That's going to be Fury, and it's going to be Yoon coming up there as well.
But just look at how much of the map Suning have already given up. They see what Invictus Gaming are doing, but it's just their mid-outer that's left standing. At any point, Invictus Gaming could just 5-man stack. Oh, no.
Ning activating the paranoia. He ran back. He listened to you, Frosk.
They're on Baron.
But
they're TPing to Baron.
they actually are all at the same time. This was a split-second call. This is what I like to see from Suning. But can the reaction come in from Rookie? Because he's on the top side. We've got Lucian on the bottom. It's down to half right now with Duke also coming in for the play. 3 versus 5. Everyone's trapped in the pit. Triple stun. Triple Vanguard's edge as well. Multiple disarms come through. But Hacker secures the Baron. Here's the rest of IG. But Duke split from the pack. Low health recalls coming in. Another disengage from Invictus Gaming. Baron secured by Suning.
Okay, Suning, you have redeemed yourselves. Anything that happened pre-21 minutes, it's still a bad situation. You still got inhibs down. It's probably going to be defensive Baron, but this is what I'm talking about. This is why we like to hype up Suning. We like to talk about how they are an intelligent but reactionary team. They're almost baby Invictus Gaming. Last time in spring, both these teams had incredible early games. They were the 2 bloodiest teams in the LPL, a lot of back and forth. But Suning just didn't have the bite coming into game number 2. Redeemed. They took a Baron, it was a ballsy play, and I like how it paid off.
Yeah, that snap decision, I love it. Everyone teleported at the same time. There was no question in anybody's minds as we gun down the Baron. If someone comes, we'll turn on them, but let's take this one out. No one died from the play either.
And it just comes back to this idea of consistency. We talked about it with LGD. Ultimately, it was JD taking the series 2-1, and it's just, you see these bright flashes. You know, we have so many players in the LPL that even our bottom tier teams, there is going to be, you know, a diamond in the rough there, and you will see these magical moments because, especially in this meta, a player can just step up and hard carry on one of these bizarre champions.
Yeah.
And Suning, they just need to find the consistency in their talent that they're developing to make themselves a playoff team, to solidify their position in the LPL.
Exactly. I mean, to me, myself and champions, like, Rookie is good at mid lane, but at the same time, Fury is good at AD carry. You know, Hacker, great at jungle. Xiao Ao, one of the emerging top laners right now, and we're seeing it on this Aatrox as he moves towards is going to use Rage Blade, hitting that second item, but he is still being trapped by Duke in this bottom lane.
And again, kind of what this Baron will mean is it will be a defensive Baron, but that means that there's at least 5 minutes on the clock in terms of breathing room for Suning. And if you look at their composition, they still just want to continue to funnel gold, build up these big 2 carries between the Kai'Sa, 3 carries, the Kai'Sa, the Aatrox, and the Graves that they can, and then continue to split the map. But the skirmishes will get stronger as more gold is funneled into these kill threats, which, to IG's credit again, I really like their composition because I feel like, hey, you want to split the map? Guess what? We've got Shin Nocturne. Split it all day, baby. We're just going to pick you off. Hey, you want a 5-stack as 5? Guess what? You have Graves and Kai'Sa. And if Yoon isn't on point, we are going to dive you with everything.
Yeah, one mistake in that split second in these fights could change everything. But Suning Gaming, again, they're making a ballsy play, and it's a play all together in the mid lane. They take down the inner tower.
And it's just a reactionary play. They see that Ning has appeared bottom. They know that they want the inhib, so they're just trying to trade what they can. It's now a question of if Xiao Ao is going to be enough to stall out this inhib. And you can see IG, what they want to do is they actually want to race up towards Suning and delay the backs. But because they don't have any deep vision placed, it doesn't give Ning the confidence to say, okay, it's just Xiao Ao, we can take this inhib.
We jump in right now. Suning Gaming, of course, they still have Baron, which also means that,
Possible
of course,
dive.
they have faster recalls.
A definite dive.
100%,
Oh.
50%,
They're playing
20%,
so
0%.
cautious to the vision. This is such a cool, okay, now I'm getting more pleased with Suning.
Okay,
I feel like they fell asleep for the first 20 minutes. They've woken up, okay, it's game time, you know. We're 1 down in this series. We need to win this game if we want to take it to game number 3. And it's now turned into this ping pong. Both teams very quickly reading each other. Again, we like to talk about how Suning is baby Invictus Gaming and how JD are kind of baby EDG in terms of setup versus reaction.
I sense a disturbance in the force, says Fen as he's
Someone's looking
CSing
at
with
me.
Winter's Bite. Yeah, someone is looking at me right now. Oh god,
Look
they were there
away.
all along. Not like this. He didn't tell Hacker they were there. And here's the dive coming out from Invictus Gaming right underneath this tower. But the response from Suning is good so far. Fen is still alive. Rookie is dead. IG starting to get routed. And Xiao Ao, he can afford to die. He's got the Guardian Angel in from the passive. 3 for 1. And Suning, they want more. They want to chase down everybody. There is no escape from Fury. 3 kills, 4 kills, quadra kill.
And a huge blunder from Invictus Gaming. They dove way too deep underneath the tower, didn't have the correct aggro, didn't layer their cooldowns enough, and that could be the game.
Running it down this mid lane, no Baron, but they have this minion wave here. Death timers, 17 seconds, 15 seconds on Rookie. This is going to be at least an inhibitor as they push forwards with this cannon wave. Yoon even protecting the minions with the ultimate support as they look towards the ultimate towers right here. The Nexus turrets, I should say. Ning, Rookie, single seconds on those death timers. They're coming up, but it's down to the Nexus. Can he get out in time? Yoon playing bodyguard. Suning onto the Nexus. There it is. They even it up to 1-on-1. We're going to game 3.
From disaster to domination, Suning fumbled big in the first 20 minutes, but 3 key plays capitalizing on Invictus Gaming, making mistakes. And we said it at the very beginning. IG, we need to hold them to higher standards. They cannot continue to slip backwards. Return to your record-breaking form or face the criticism.
They're slipping right now. I mean, that's all that we can say. Because we're going to a game 3, Invictus Gaming versus Suning. The cracks are definitely starting to show. You can see that in the gold totals and the gold average over this game. And just take a look at the gold graph as well. I'm looking towards Fury. The funnel worked.
And this wasn't methodical setup from Suning. Anytime that they grabbed these advantages, it was reading what IG were doing and then just playing that moment better.
Well played, that's all I can say. 26 minutes and Suning actually managed to close it out. That has been historically one of this team's problems, is they'll get this early game win. Exactly, they get this early game lead out of a top lane play, out of a bottom lane play. We saw it in game 1, they couldn't finish, they couldn't find their way in because a team like Invictus Gaming will find their way to stop them. They'll find a way to stall the car, immediately put their foot on the brake, and to stop a team like this. Didn't happen this time around. Well played to Suning. For now, we're going to send it over to the Alistair to take a look at game 2.
Clement,
what did I tell you?
Oh, if I remember correctly, you said 2-0 IG.
I said 2-0 IG if it was going to be only Aurelia and Cassidy.
Oh.
I said right after the ban picks that Suning were going to win this game.
We'll check the footage.
Did I not tell you Suning was going to?
You said after ban.
Yeah, I told you after ban pick Suning was going to win the
He and I on the desk said it verbally, so I can confirm that he said that verbally. On camera, when it counted, I don't know. I don't remember.
I'm not flip-flopping. I did add a clause. I'm not Raz, okay? So
that's very true. Let's actually bring that ban pick up and actually take a look at how that shook out for IG Suning, because again, it really looked like a kind of question mark. Suning decided to take the marksman into one of the strongest, most lane dominant teams in the LPL with that Kaisa in the bottom lane, and didn't look great. IG kind of ran the same thing.
But here's my draft. After I read the draft, I said, okay, Suning's actually going to win because they have the better 5v5 and because they have the Braum and the Graves to hold down Aurelia Rookie in the mid lane for the early game. So they had the game plan pretty much sorted out from start to finish. I feel like IG had a really good read in terms of like attacking side lanes and stuff like that. But overall, the composition Suning is really good in 5v5s. And this is where I kind of disagree with Frostkern a little bit. I think the Aatrox, if you use him only for as a blocker to block the composition from IG coming in, then that actually still makes a very good 5v5 composition. And that's what we saw in the final team fights moments of the game.
That being said, it was still looking real dicey with the choices that Suning were going to make. So here's the draft that you can see. It was the final pick, Aurelia, for Invictus Gaming to round out their composition as they got to counter-pick the Lucian after Kaisa.
Yeah. And I want to talk about this, like, I really like gold funneling compositions when they're running standard AD and support in the bot lane, because one support can actually peel for multiple AD carries. And if you have 2 supports, that's a lot of peel, and you're also doubling the amount of targets they need to take down. So I like this type of composition much better than the gold funneling where you're running 3 supports instead. I feel like it's actually easier to focus down. So I'm really in love with this composition, if you guys can't tell. It's good 5v5. It has a good balance of AD and AP damage, and I really like what Suning's doing so far. They've brought great compositions to the table with the limited picks they have in the mid lane.
It also starts to skew some of our meta numbers of our marksman from a lower tier team taking a win.
Well, it's against another marksman, so this doesn't count in our stat.
I said that to you earlier, and you said it didn't count.
Yeah, they're running Lucian.
I'm just calling you out on that. Again, though, we do have to actually get into the game itself and talk about what happened, because it wasn't just the composition from that. Like you said, it came down to the final team fight. Suning actually sticking to the game plan. Now, are you telling me in their game plan they had give up an inhibitor at 17 minutes, and then a minute later give up another inhibitor turret on the other side of the map? Was that step 2 or step 3?
That was the question mark between step 3 and profit, you know? Something has to go outside of plan, and this is what IG did really well. They flipped the matchup against with Mundo against Aatrox. So Aatrox should be able to split push once he gets enough items, but they were able to target him enough, throw enough ganks into him where that didn't happen. So kudos to them. They opened a lane where their composition could actually work. But Going back to Suning a little bit, I do want to talk about the runes that Fury brought, because I think that's really interesting. We don't typically see Kai'Sa's go fleet footwork anymore. It's all about AP, it's all about stacking, so press the attack is much more common. But this time around, Fury, in order to sustain in the lane and go to the late game, he brought the fleet footwork, massively nerfed, only 20% compared to our original values. And then he brought overheal and bloodline as well. So it was a very clear goal that's like, hey man, I'm gonna stick it to late game and I'm going to change my style. And that's what I think you need to do if you're playing a marksman in this meta. Uzi, the best player in the world, says, you know what, I can't handle these kill lanes in bot anymore. I'm going to build something sustain lanes.
Swap to a side lane.
Yeah, so you have to adopt, and I really want to give props to Fury for recognizing that and going a different route.
Yeah, and it was a strong performance from Fury in order to close that game out. Of course, in that last team fight when he flew in, he's actually also going to take our MVP for this Game 2 victory for Suning. 5-0-2 as he was able to soar in on that killer instinct in the end and mop up the kills that Suning needed.
33% of the damage share biding his time. The last team fight was all about baiting IG into the trap right there. They knew they had the vision behind the Dragon Pit where they could see IG members setting a trap right there. They were just out of engage range, slightly goading them, and finally when Invictus Gaming came in, Suning Gaming were very prepared in terms of the fight. That's a 3-man knockup coming in from one of the supports. Aatrox standing in the front. There's no way Lucian's going to be hitting the back line. And Graves, even though he falls down, he buys up enough time for the entire team fight to go Suning's way right there. Final cleanup in the end. Good highlight for Fury, getting his quadra kill. It's just good composition. I love games like these where it's good compositions, lower teams beating an upper team with a better read on the draft.
It seems almost like we're starting to see a little brother, big brother rivalry between Suning and Invictus Gaming, because Suning is now one of a very select number of teams who have taken not just one game, but now 2 games off of Invictus Gaming.
You know what? This is what we're waiting for.
We gotta say it.
The Shy's coming back. We have the same things on our mind.
We don't actually know. We don't have it confirmed just yet. But look, Game 1 was Duke. Game 2, they lost. If this is the last chance.
You brought the man here.
They've announced it on Weibo.
You can't let the fans come here and not let them see the Shy.
Yeah, we're gonna find out. Just Shy, where are you, man? Come on, let's see if we're gonna see him. We're gonna go and take a quick break. We'll be right back.
苏牛队员不会为遗憾找借口，必须变强，必须进步。